Hi, I'm Benita Wagner. I'm the coordinator for the Center for Service Learning. We've created this D2L module for you to locate meaningful service learning opportunities. And our hope is that we've provided an easy way for you to navigate your way through the choices made available to you.
Welcome to our tutorial on service learning. Just one example of the power of AND at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Engagement and energy, a lifelong passion for active citizenship, is one of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire brand promises. Blugolds provide the leadership and vision to address community needs by embracing civic engagement and service learning as integral components of a liberal education. The university builds bridges between campus and the community by connecting its people to service learning and community redevelopment projects. Students, faculty, and staff work side by side with community partners to envision what is possible and make it happen. It's a responsibility Blugolds takes seriously. The lessons learned at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire about civic engagement create a lifelong passion for active citizenship and leadership. When former freedom writer John Lewis was speaking to other college students about engagement in the civil rights movement, he said, "If not us, then who? If not now, then when?" This is a perfect quote to begin our program on service learning. In this tutorial, you'll learn more about the service learning graduation requirement. We'll also share more about why we believe in service learning at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. And we'll share information about our expected learning outcomes for those who participate in the service learning program. In 1995, the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire established the service learning graduation requirement. While other UW system schools have some form of service learning on campus, UW-Eau Claire is unique in that we're the only UW school with service learning as a graduation requirement. Students are expected to complete 30 hours of service learning before their degree is conferred. Service learning is not just simply volunteerism. It includes service and learning. Service learning is considered service because it benefits others. It can make education a collaborative effort where students benefit society by exercising both their rights and responsibilities of citizenship. Service learning is considered learning because students are educated through the process. Students apply concepts and principles learned in college coursework and are able to enhance their resumes and gain important experience that can be directly related to their future careers. To maximize the service learning experience, the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire has established 10 outcomes for your service learning experience. The first outcome is that students will complete 30 hours of service learning. This can be done with one single project completing 30 hours or two individual projects of 15 hours each. The next outcome is that a project must address an individual need within a community. Successful service learning projects will involve collaboration among a UW-Eau Claire student, a faculty or staff member who will serve as a mentor, and a community partner who will help to guide the project. At the end of the project, students must be able to identify how the experience develops skills, attitudes, and abilities appropriate to citizenship in a democratic society. Students must also be able to report the significant learning that happened as a result of the experience. Students learning from the project must be reported to their University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire faculty or staff members serving as the mentor on the project. When students complete their report of their service learning project, they should show evidence of independent learning. Students should be able to explain how their project relates directly to their major or minor, or one or more of the goals of the baccalaureate. Students should also be able to reflect on their personal growth as a result of their service learning project. And finally, at the completion of a project, students should be able to reflect on lifelong learning and public service. A common question is why we ask students to complete service learning. There are many benefits to participating in a service learning project. For instance, a student might be assisted in determining a major or minor as a result of having a service experience. Additionally, the opportunity to participate in a project might build on personal interests that a student might have. Students' skill sets are built in a variety of areas throughout service learning projects. A service learning project will also provide a student with an opportunity to build a resume and begin working to establish a network for future careers.
Doing my service learning gave me an opportunity to explore law enforcement and gave me some insight into just kind of how everything works and then what I can look forward to in a future career.
Doing my service learning helped me realize how passionate I was about the campus and the surrounding Eau Claire community, and I was really grateful for the opportunity to be able to share this with the incoming freshmen. There's so many great things that the campus has to offer and so many fun activities that you can do in the community that as the semester went on, I started wishing I had more time to share more with incoming freshmen. And it was just really great through my service learning to find something that I was so passionate about.
Doing my service learning project helped remind me how much I value the human connection. I made friends with students who were volunteering with me, with the doctors and the translators, and most importantly, the patients. I realized that it doesn't matter if I'm working with medicine, as long as I'm working with people and talking to them and helping them get the best experience out of life that they can, that I'm going to be happy in my career choice.
Now let's take some time to learn how to get started with your service learning. There are 3 options for service learning at UW-Eau Claire. You can create your own project. Students can search the Service Learning Project database to find a project that meets their interest, or students can locate a course for credit that will allow them to complete their service learning. Let's start by taking a look at the Creating Your Own Project option. This option gives you lots of flexibility in what you'd like to do with your service learning. You might live outside of the Chippewa Valley and want to do a project back home, or you might participate in study abroad or an alternative spring break or national student exchange where you would explore a new option in a new location. Or you might do something right here in the community that's near and dear to your heart. Let's meet Kyle Gostomski, who took a project that he was completing in the community and turned it into his service learning.
How's it going? My name's Kyle Gostomski. I'm a senior marketing student at UW-Eau Claire. For my service learning project, I actually created my own, and it didn't start out as a service learning project, but I helped raise around $25,000 for a skate park, as well as finding a builder and really just advocating skate park support in the Eau Claire area. So it was a really fun opportunity. I got to work with city officials, skateboard companies, and the skateboard community, which I've been a part of for the past 4 years. And it's helped lead to job opportunities, which is huge. So, helping out your community, helping out the school, and helping out your future career is something that you can really do with Eau Claire here at the Service Learning Projects.
If you don't have a project in mind, you can search the course catalog to find a class that either offers 15 or 30 hours of service learning as a part of the course requirements. Let's meet Tressa Harings, who elected this option.
My name is Tressa Harings, and I did my service learning by locating a 4-credit course to fulfill the requirement. I began by filling out an application, and I sent it in to the director of co-activities. And what happened was then he got a hold of me and said, we want you to be the choreographer. From there, basically, I had the summer to choreograph. I had the summer to make up moves, ask questions, ask for help whenever I needed to. When the fall came along, I started taking a class. Basically, all the directors and all the choreographers got together. And what we would do is we would teach the rest of the class part of our moves. And then they would say, what did we like? They would give me critiques on what I did. Along with that, in the fall, we did have rehearsals. So I started teaching the girls. I was in women's concert chorale on campus. And I was teaching the girls the moves. We would get everything clarified. And then came along Hell Week. So that is the full week before the performances. And we learn all the music. We learn all the choreography. We put everything together. We do dress rehearsals. And then after that came the performances. So we did some performances, and that was in January of the next year. And so basically that's what I did for choreographing for cabaret.
Some students may not know where to start to create their own project or be interested in a course that offers service learning credit. Those students can search the Service Learning Project database. Let's hear from one student who found his project in the online database.
My name is Michael Turner. I did my service learning by searching the Service Learning Project database. I worked 2 different jobs. I was with the Eau Claire Crush football team and with the Eau Claire Parks and Recreation. With the Crush, I did a number of jobs: stats, security, scouting, game film, cleanup, tear down, anything that they would need assistance with. Basically, I would just volunteer and help do. With the Eau Claire Parks and Recreation, I was a youth t-ball coach, a co-coach with a parent of a player on the team, and I would set lineups, organize practices, be there for games, and just basically coach and work with the parents on helping their children play t-ball.
If you've selected the credit course option, or if you've searched the online database, you'll find a project supervisor through that process. However, if you've created your own project, you'll need to find a project supervisor. To do this, students should seek out someone in the community who is interested in supporting the project being considered. Or a student might reach out to an agency that would support such a project and find a staff member at that agency who would be willing to provide supervision for the project. The next step is for a student to find an academic staff or faculty mentor to provide assistance with developing project outcomes and establishing a learning reflection process. Students might ask an advisor or favorite professor, or a student might seek out someone with a common interest in a service area. For example, the students pictured here shared an interest in social justice, so they completed their service learning by coordinating the UW-Eau Claire Civil Rights Pilgrimage. They asked their pilgrimage supervisor to serve as their mentor.
Welcome to the Service Learning Mentor video. We will go over everything you need to know about having a mentor during your service learning project. Once you have decided on a project and have communicated about scheduling your service hours with a community partner supervisor, you will need to set up a meeting with your faculty or academic staff mentor. Who is my mentor? You get to choose the mentor you will work with during your service learning project. You can choose from faculty or academic staff. We typically suggest a favorite professor or your academic advisor. Check out the mentor's office hours to set up an appointment. Why do I need a mentor? Working with your project supervisor and mentor maximizes your network. Some benefits include building meaningful relationships, assisting in resume building, providing recommendations for scholarships, internships, and jobs, advising career aspirations, and inspiring lifelong learning and civic engagement. What do I do with my mentor? You are going to want to start by going to your service learning project proposal and discussing the outcomes and reflection of your service learning project. Let's see what this looks like on the database. When you are going to visit your mentor, you're going to want to pull up your project proposal on the online database. You're going to specifically want to scroll down to question number 2 and go through the outcomes with your mentor. Some of the outcomes are developing awareness and/or deepening understanding of a specific community need or societal problem, exploring a personal role in commitment to civic engagement, applying liberal education skills to solve a problem or serve a need in the community, as well as you can create other outcomes. You will also need to scroll down to question number 5 and let us know what type of reflection activity you and your mentor will be performing. Some examples are a reflection or reaction paper, a PowerPoint presentation, a journal, a group discussion, an oral presentation, or another method of reflection that you and your mentor have discussed. After updating those 2 boxes, please click on the Save button to save what you have entered into your project proposal. There's one more step. After you have finished your service learning project, you will need to reflect with your mentor. During your reflection, make sure to revisit those outcomes you originally set to see if they were met throughout the service learning project. What is left? After you have reflected with your mentor, they will complete your project online, and lastly, you will have access to take your post-survey, which is the last step in your service learning project.
When you've created your project, it's time to get registered with Service Learning.
Welcome to the Service Learning online system. This tutorial will show you what to do if you have a project in mind and want to fill out the project proposal. First, go to the Supervisor tab on the top of the page. Here we will be able to search for our supervisor either by last name, in this case we'll use Wagner, or you may use the A to Z index. Click on W and you'll be able to find your supervisor here. If you follow the line over, you will find an option to create a project. Clicking on this option will bring you to the project proposal form, where you will give the project a title, specify the number of hours, and mark the beginning and end date for your project. You will notice that your username, as well as the name of your supervisor and community partner, are already filled in for you. You will then want to enter the username for your mentor. Please fill in the rest of the form by answering the questions. Once you have finished answering all of the questions, scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. You will be given a reminder to complete your pre-survey after saving. Then scroll to the bottom of the page and click on New Pre-Survey. This will bring you to a series of drop-down menus where you will rate how much you agree with the statements. There's also a comment box. Once you have finished, click Save. You will want to make sure your project is submitted by clicking the button. This will take you back to your project proposal, where you can review the answers to your questions, and you can also see the pre-survey that you just took. Clicking on the Back option will take you to the project's homepage, where your active projects will be listed at the bottom of the page.
Now that you know a little bit more about the service learning process, we'd like to share some advice from some of the students who maximize their service learning experience.
My advice to the incoming freshmen would be to find a service learning that you're really passionate about. It can be something that benefits you and the community.
I would recommend that new students really think about something that will challenge them, whether it's an emotional challenge, working in a nursing home, or doing something completely out of their comfort zone. To do that, but then also do something that you think you will enjoy, because you want to be able to talk about this service learning experience as a positive one and one that helped you grow personally and professionally.
So really, for anybody, this is for freshmen or anyone else, anyone who is thinking about doing service learning, and I mean, you have to do it, but you don't have to think of it that way. The best thing that I would give advice for is that you should try and find something that you enjoy doing and something that can help you with your future career. I mean, the nice thing about this is that I needed a skate park, I needed somewhere to skate. Growing up in Milwaukee, I had options in every direction, and in Eau Claire it was really hard. I had to go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, places like that just to go skateboarding. So my service learning fulfilled three things in my life. So my need for skateboarding was one thing. I also have a lot of quantifiable data that looks great for employers, and I put it on my resume, and like I said, it's helped me get internships, and that internship is going to help me get a job in December, which is already coming up soon. So that's nice too, but really, find something that you enjoy doing, something that has a purpose, and everything else will take care of itself.
If you follow this advice, you'll find the project that is perfect for you. When your service hours are complete, you will need to complete your reflection and meet with your mentor to discuss your learning. You will also want to document your experience by updating your resume to reflect the skills gained as a result of your project. You may also want to think about how you will demonstrate your learning through responses to potential interview questions in the future. The last step in the process is evaluation. Your supervisor and mentor will complete an evaluation to give valuable feedback.
This tutorial explains the evaluation form that your supervisor may complete with the culmination of your service learning experience. While the evaluation form is not a requirement, the feedback from the supervisor is helpful to both you, the student, and us here at the Center for Service Learning. The top of the evaluation form includes the basic information about your project, as well as the goals of the evaluation form. The first thing that your supervisor will do is rate you in several areas according to whether you exceeded expectations, met expectations, did not meet expectations, or they were unable to observe you in these areas. These areas include preparation, responsibility, professionalism, motivation, the desire to learn, performance, and concern for clients and community. The next part of the evaluation contains short answer questions where your supervisor can talk about how you impacted their organization or any problems that they might have encountered. Finally, supervisors have the chance to recommend you as an outstanding student. Annually, the Center for Service Learning recognizes the projects of 1 or 2 outstanding students for an Excellence Award. There is a comment box on the end, and then your supervisor will be able to save the evaluation. Once the supervisor has done so, you will be able to see the completed evaluation on the bottom of your project proposal.
Students should consider these evaluation elements before beginning a project to ensure successful completion of the project. We've covered a lot of ground in this service learning tutorial, so let's recap by following the steps checklist. The first step in the process is to select a project. There are 3 ways to find a project. You can select a 4-credit class, you can create your own project, or you can visit the Service Learning online database to find a project of interest. The next step is to contact your community partner about beginning a service learning project. You'll want to select and secure a faculty or academic staff mentor. You'll need to set up an appointment with that mentor, determine outcomes for the project, and develop a reflection process that will be completed throughout the process. You'll fill out the online application and take the pre-survey. Next, you'll implement that project and complete your project hours. Following the completion of your hours, your supervisor completes an online evaluation. Next, you'll want to set up an appointment with your mentor. During that appointment, you'll reflect on the project and the outcomes with your mentor. Your mentor will then validate that you have completed the project using the Service Learning online system. You will then complete an online post-survey. Next, the Service Learning Center will validate the requirement that you have completed with the registrar's office. Your last step should be updating your resume to reflect the learning gained from the Service Learning project. You should also think about how you will talk about this project in a future job interview. Congratulations! If you follow these steps, you will successfully complete the university requirement of 30 hours of service learning.
I just want to say thank you for taking the time to view these service learning helps. And if you have any questions in fulfilling your service learning requirement, please contact our office at 715-836-4649. You can email us at srvlearn@uwec.edu, or feel free to stop by. Our office is located in Schofield 228C. We're just inside Career Services. We're always happy to help students.